Hey, Fallen Knight here. Alright, here we go. So today, I'm doing an NPC tier list because I've played through the game enough. I've done pretty much almost every quest line, or at least progressed through it. And I've watched videos and some of the quest lines, so I have a great knowledge of pretty much all of them. So, let's begin. Alrighty. First, starting out, Albus. I'm going to put him at a good D because you get an extremely important item from him, and that is the left medallion piece. But he only has a little bit of dialogue, though he does look after Lantana. It's just you don't get enough of him. But I'd say the same goes for someone like Encha, which you just get like a nod and then an invasion. Well, I guess same somewhat would go with D's. D's brother has a little bit more, so I'll put him at a good C because you get an extremely important item from him. Alexander, immediate S, immediate X. We all know why. I don't know how to explain it. He is the most honorable death, which I'd say is even as close as a happy ending death, right? Bogart. He's an absolute jerk at first, but he becomes really fun after that. And his death is really a sadder thing. Bird Hill, put him in a nice C. Pretty cool. Um, aura, kind of aura around him, as cringy as that word is. Uh, Gives you some cool quests, some cool Ash of War, none of which I've used. So, yeah. His invasion though does give you a really cool weapon. Can't remember what that weapon is, but it does give you a legendary talisman behind him once you defeat him. Blide is an A because Blide overall is just super cool. Kind character. You can get some really cool dialogue for him, and if you do one of the Evergalls in the right time, which is it's the one with the Bloodhound Fang guy. But if you go ahead and do that Evergall early, then you get a bunch of dialogue for him, and you get a really cool emote, as well as some dialogue with Kale. So you see the connection between Kale and Blide, and some extra EG dialogue. But Blide is probably better to do his Evergall after you after you defeat the Baleful Shadow, I think, and then that's when Blight actually escapes his cage. So that's actually a little bit of lore that helps us understand Evergalls. Bach F gives me a bunch of mushrooms when I free him from that tree state, and he just dies when he does the rebirth. He wastes my larval tier. Although he does call me Lord, so uh, yeah. If there was something lower than an F, I wouldn't put him there. Corin. Mm, about a D because he's connected to the Gold Mask ending, which is probably the second most moral ending. Other than I think the Age of Stars, although it is Ronnie's fault, the world is messed up completely. She does want to rectify that mistake and make it, a whole better world. Dalos, but a nice C because uh, he becomes an honorable man. He starts as a very weak man, right? A very weak character. That's not good, but he starts growing into like a strong warrior. Not having to be brutal, right? Yet being a figure for those for like Jarbug, for example, look up to. D, you get barely any dialogue with him, but he's a pretty chill guy. Uh, his armor's awesome that you get from him. Put him at a C. They've connected to the Fia's questline, which is an interesting questline, but I do not whatsoever agree with her values on Death and Death guy. She's got a little bit of a weird character when you think about it. A lot of people simp for her for some reason. I guess it's the hold me thing, which I guess I understand. Oh, D's brother's an A because I gave him the armor once, just not even thinking about it, and I come back to Fia after I get the Rune of Mending. Not because I wanted to get the ending, but because I wanted to fight Lord for Citisex, or plus it, no, Far Citisex. I can't pronounce it, sorry. But I mean, he just comes back like he is savage. He's talking about round table hole, told in blood. Like he is uh pretty cool. And then after he's done with this whole like madness, spewing out madness, talking about madness, he's pretty much pretty nice to the or tarnished. Dung Eater, D. He's mean if you don't get sick with a horrifying disease. And then he gives an ending which I would arguably say is worse than Frenzied Flame, which is actually pretty crazy. I would say that Frenzied Flame itself is kind of a cool ending, kind of a poetic ending. Not exactly the ending to start a sequel off of, but it's actually I'd say might go be a contestant for my favorite ending. Edgar is, hmm, Edgar's an interesting guy. I'm gonna put him at a B. I don't know too much about him, but he very much cared deeply for his daughter, and if she were to die, right, he right away was in like a place of rage because of it. He would do anything to avenge her, which led to his madness. But I think that's a father caring for and being like having a conflict alone between his honor and his daughter. I think is pretty cool, even if it's not a good conflict. It's interesting. Enya is I'm gonna say S tier because she uh she kind of like sneakily goes behind the fingers to give you advice, and she's the most one of the most useful NPCs in the game, which is of course giving you those remembrance items and armor from champions. Like, I remember on my first playthrough, the armor from Radagon. No, not Radagon. Sorry, the armor from Radon really helped me out. I mean, it was insane. No. Uh, Ensha. He gives you an invasion, and he doesn't do too much at all. But he's not. It's anyone at F. I just absolutely hate. I guess I can put. Well, Dung the Eater does give you an ending, so I can't put him there. And Corrin does give you some. Uh, well, Corrin. I forgot to talk about this, but the reason I hate Corrin, uh, and because he actually has some usefulness, I don't put him at F. Because I absolutely hate Corrin. The reason why is I remember my first playthrough, I gave him a bunch of like prayer books, and he said, "That's heresy. We can't do that." No, but Muriel, on the other hand, it lets you lets you combine the two, heresy and regular stuff. Which, as a Catholic, I don't agree with heresy, but I mean it's a fictional world, so yeah. Gold Mask. When you meet him, he doesn't say much, but he's helpful. He gives you the second best good ending. Gowry, A, because I'm about over halfway through the Millicent quest line. I'm almost done with it. I haven't seen too much into him, but from what I see right now, he's a good father that cares about his daughter. And the fact that he's adopted daughters, especially Millicent, he's a really good guy for that. Uh, Especially because like I accidentally got him killed somehow with a dog next to him. I don't even know how that happened, but I guess he's fine now for some reason. But he is apparently secretly a kindred, so he went against like his kindred brothers, or I guess brothers and sisters, in order to do that. I don't even know how kindreds work. I don't know if they're like a hive mind or something, but I know they all worship like this outer god of rot. Melania. Mm, A. The reason she's on S is because, well, no, she does sacrifice herself for us, so she's an S. Her death was one of the saddest, obviously. I just wish I thought it would have been cool if like every grace you were at, or almost every grace, because of course there are some that just inconvenience with that. It's Melina would come up and it would just be there with you, because I feel like if she's really like on the journey with you, that doesn't make sense for her to be away. Hugh is an A. The only reason why he's in an S is because I get ignored. Oh, I thought you were dead. I got a little bit annoyed, listening to that every time I come up to him. But he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. He's one of out of all the Souls games as a whole, he's one of my favorite smithers. Uh, yeah, stock F. Not a good. Doesn't sell good items and takes 30% of your gold at the castle. Better to just kill him. But apparently he would have stayed in Nefeli's room with Kenneth. Kenneth is. I'm gonna put him in A. So he doesn't do too much quest wise, but I think he's just pretty cool. Like he actually gives the throne to Nefeli, which is super honorable of him, and he still wants to make me a knight, and he's over all night. I also think the line, or "What are you waiting for? Kiss goodbye." You don't really see that in like these medieval games, so I don't hear the joke often. I know it's been said before. I don't hear it often. I find it funny. Ronnie, or I'm not going really in order here. I'm just kind of picking around. Ronnie's difficult because I could not stand her at first. Like I was trying everything I could to avoid her ending, which is obviously pretty easy. In my first playthrough, I just defeated Radon, did some stuff to fight some other bosses in her quest line, but I never finished it out until after I was actually beat Elden Beast, which you can do actually. You can finish your quest line after doing that. I also forgot to get the grace in. I forgot to get the grace in the tree on my second playthrough, which is hilarious, utterly hilarious. Because then you can go back in and it's pretty cool. But anyway, Ronnie, her ending is awesome. She turns into a good lady, and as well as her mother, because like I'll discuss this in a lore video. There's a lack of love in that universe completely, and I mean like romantic love, right? It's Radagon. It's quite obvious he just left her for another woman that he didn't even love. He just wanted power, which is America. Uh, and Ronaldo was broken for that, and that's when I heard about the lore, I actually got a little bit sad, which is I've noticed recently. I've become more of a stronger man as I age, but I'm also a little bit more of a sensitive emotion. But Ronnie, I'd say I'd put her. Yeah, I'd Ness. She gives one of the coolest endings, and actually a great quest line with a ton of leads you to go into those underground cities, which is actually gets you a bunch of the bosses that you need to fight. And you don't even, unlike the Roller's Frenzied Flame, you can, her ending, you can get out of it if you finish her quest line. You don't have to summon her. Though, uh, of course, there is a way to get out of the Frenzied Flame ending, but that's insane. It is insane, and it goes against, one of my favorite quest lines. Millicent, almost favorite. She is so close to favorite. She is just overall nice. She's a strong woman, right? A well balanced character as well. Like she's not one of those characters that are like they're making powerful for no reason like Girl Boss. She's just a naturally strong woman, and is really fun to follow through her quest. I'm actually having because you can just do stuff you would regularly do, and you'll find her there and progress through it. And she gives some awesome talismans throughout her quest line. Uh, I'm still making my way through. I don't know if she dies or not. I don't think so. If she does, I will be extremely sad. Rodrika. B. B. She's nice. A little bit weird at the beginning, but she allows you she helps with Spirit Ashes. Muriel. Good B because I can't put too much at A. Actually, I'll put him in an A because I give a lot of my prayer books to him, and he can give his like spell stuff to him. Like Selen, I've given her a bunch of my uh sorcery books, like academy books. But Muriel, you can give him both prayer and sorcerer books because, in a way, I don't know if he did the marriage between Radagon and Renala. But in a way, that church, the Church of Vows, is a place where the two houses came together. Incantations from the Golden Order and sorceries from the Academy. Renala, pretty weird, a little bit, but that's because she's so broken and because she was so driven by love in a universe or in a world where love has been forgotten because of the shattering, because of Radagon's little stunt. I think she goes up there, and I think that it's sad to see her broken, but she does open up. I think if you don't actually beat her, she opens up the Ronnie quest line, and she does which will lead me into Selin in just a moment. It's the base ending for the Selin quest line that pretty much everyone gets is she turns into like one of those ball things, which is like really weird. Um, but this allows Selin, I'll put an S, because she has a really good quest line that will actually her quest line allows you to get some legendary spells. She's really good. Uh, but yeah, she's really good for that kind of stuff. Thea is at a C. She allows you to get through that boss, and that's the only thing I care about. She has a really unique fight with like your champions and Roger and those other guys. Other than that, she's pretty weird. Pretty weird. Gideon, I'll put him in an A because he is actually, as much as people say this fight was just like a clown, kind of, between the other bosses, right? He was not a threat whatsoever. It was really cool to see him use moves from all the side bosses you fight before. Like, for example, for me, he was, of course, using Renala's, and he was using Rykard's, but I'm defeating Melania now after I burn the air tree. Because now I can grind levels with the relic sword. Which the only reason why I burned the air tree in the first place is because I wanted to defeat Commander Nile because he was too hard for me. But instead I started grinding levels without the relic sword because now I needed levels to beat Radagon. And so then I beat not Commander Nile, just trying, and now then I beat Radagon. So it's kind of pointless to even burn the air tree first in the first place. But I suppose I'll need those levels for fighting making it through some of the quest lines and fighting Lania for you guys. And this is my no summon quest line. Next playthrough, after I get all the achievements, of course in my New Game Plus runs, I probably won't use Spirit Ashes, except if a fight's really hard. And then after that, I will fully restart, once I'm a little bit more famous, I'll fully restart for and do I'm gonna do a no summon DLC run too, with the same character I'm using, Return of Chad. But I'll do a third run for you guys for just base game right before Night Rain comes out, and then that'll be like a full like no ashes run either, and I think that'll be pretty cool for you guys. Garank, he gives some interesting spells. Let's see. If you kill him, you get an Ancient Dragon Stone, Smithing Stone. So, yeah. And then he unlocks some hidden dialogue when you're going into the Beast Clergyman or the Micaiah the Black Blade fight. So, yeah. Shiburi, S, immediate S, almost favorite, because he is just, his dialogue, there's just not too much emotion and dialogue in this game. It's like when he's screaming, "May chaos take the world, may chaos take the world," right? I feel like it's really cool. And his armor is awesome when you get it. That's the armor I'm using right now. I don't care if it helps my build or not. I don't care. He's a really cool character. Aura, I'd say. I probably talked about a few characters too much, but E.G. This will shock people. He is my favorite. He's just naturally a kind NPC. He warns you about, hey, just watch out, I might hit you. Which at first I thought it was kind of, of a ruder warning, kind of like a backhanded warning, but apparently not. And he serves you to the very end. He says, "I have no doubt you're Ronnie's champion," right? And he feels horrible for what happened to Blade. And he served Ronnie to the very end, and I was tragically hit by his death. Actually, in the same day, I lose NG, then I lose Melina, then I have to kill Alexander to give him a good death. It did give me that one talisman, the Shard of Alexander. But I always have Alexander's innards with me, which sounds weirder than I think. F, the Great Jarvis F. I don't do PvP really that much. I did it like I did it a few times just to get some Runa arcs, so I could beat Elden Beast, which I didn't even need a Rune arc to beat Elden Beast. That's what's hilarious about it. I didn't even need a Rune arc. I did it while forgetting to do it, but I also do a no torrent run for like Radagon, not sorry, Radon and Elden Beast in my third playthrough around when Night Rain comes out. So I'm sure people will want to see a playthrough like right before the game starts. A lot of YouTubers do that, and I always miss out on that. So with other games, so I do now. Dops. So let's see, because I believe he gives you a good weapon, a bell bearing, and some spell or something when you give him the key. And his death actually kind of made me a little bit sad because all I wanted was a key so he could exercise his glintstone skills, and he's just found dead there, and it's wasted the extra key, but you're not going to use it anywhere else. Lieutenant F. No, I don't generally hate her, so I'll put her here. And Ensha, he gives you a cool armor set. Yeah, I'll leave him there. But the difficulty with him is I'm just gonna put these guys in order of how much I actually like them. Selling. Hmm. Uh, but yeah. Just the second Muriel. Put him here. Gideon. But yeah, to that. That's accurate. And then Albus, Talos, up. And then, sorry, just a second. Please, thank you for whoever made it this far and actually wanted to listen to me yap. Gordon. Yeah, because he's nice. Dungy. Yeah. Yeah, I just have a general hate for Bach being so useless. Uh, so I guess I can put it in the back. There. Okay. So, next order of business, Hayeta. I was a little bit confused between her and Irina. So I'm just gonna put her in the same spot. Have I not rated her yet? I haven't. Because I haven't really progressed too far in that, but I can't tell if they're the same or different person. So I do like how they're pretty interesting in the Lord of Frenzied questline. She's kind when you meet her first, and wants her to get her father back. So she's up there. Jarburn. He's a cool guy. Wants to be like Alexander. Cool little guy. Cool little kid. Yura. Yura Yura's really helpful in that first fight where you get Renderver, which that's the weapon I used a lot in my first playthrough. Little did I know that'd be a mistake, but he has a really good quest line. He has a really good quest line. And you can get Nagakiba from that. Actually, what I did, that's how I defeated Margit and Godric so easily, and a few of the earlier bosses, is I killed him for Nagakiba. I would never do that to Yura on any other playthrough. I'm actually going to go through his quest line. I mean, you technically don't even need him to get most of the items of his quest line, but because Shabiri shows up whether you kill him or not. So if you just kill this dude and get Nagakiba, or if you go through his quest line and get Nagakiba and all stuff, I'd go through his quest line if I were you. But if you're looking for an easy way to get a bleed build through it, little did I know, I did not struggle uh, with Radagon's Red Wolf and Renala in my first playthrough, but I did on my second because, uh, well, I genuinely did not know that, yeah, I don't know what happened in my second playthrough with them, but uh, I made it past them. Uh, there. I think I was just too under leveled to take them on. There. Pretty cool. Just cool. I mean, I know what happens with Moog. He kind of goes against me, and he's following this one faction of a dynasty that's really bad. But I'm pretty sure that Moog is the one who is keeping back. Like, I'll do a whole lore video on that, or at least look into stuff on it. But it seems like there's a connection between Moog's dynasty actually stopping the Lord of Frenzy stuff from ever happening. And the connection between the merchants and that and Midra, it's actually really cool. Patches. 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 Yes. He's cool. He's cool. He's nice. And I love. Oh, and he's in every game. And he's in every like almost every From Software game, starting with those like mech games they had back in 2005. And he betrays you every time. He kicks you down a ledge like every time, or like stabs you in the back or something. I find that utterly hilarious. Uh, and in a few games, he shows compassion. He has a weird thing for Lady Tanith. Like I just caught his dialogue on that. Roger, I don't like his ideas about some of the some of the dead. I don't. I think it's pretty weird. Wait, where did I put D? I'm gonna put D. How did I lose? Oh, there's D. Then where's D's brother? There he is. Okay, Raya. Ah, she does have an happy ending. She's nice. Okay, I'll put her there. Jaren, Witch Hunter. He looks like a funny gnome, but he's got a path. He's not a. He seems like a goofy little guy, but he's not a goofy little guy. Sylvis F. I just hate him. Nefeli is one of the coolest characters. She's a really strong woman. Respect her for that, right? And she becomes like the leader of Limgrave. But yeah, he tries to betray her. And it's actually really sad, her sadness between Gideon giving her up. That's one thing I don't like Gideon for. But he did show some little compassion when you actually helped her get up back on her feet. Nefeli's at an S for sure. She's close favorite. Tanith, B. I've got no problem with her, and she seems pretty. She opens up the Volcano Manor, and yeah. Uh, but that is the end of the ranking, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks for making it through the video, and I'll see you.